Hello everyone. I need to fill air right now. So how are you doing? You good? Question of the video. Do you miss the question of the video? Me, I'm pretty good. My internal clock is really messed up right now, so I tried to fix it by going to bed 4 hours later a day, every day, for a week, and that was miserable. But when I was finally done, I went to bed at 10 p.m. just like I wanted to. And the very next day, I didn't fall asleep until 6 a.m. Existence is hell, and the horrors persist, but so do I. Also, this video was originally going to come out on Sunday, but then the reveal stream happened and I had to push this back. The funny thing is, that caused me to grapple with some parallels between this and the Legacy Vector Prime. And I think that should be enough time for me to swear at the beginning of this video without getting demonetized. So how did you fuck this up? It's Legacy shit. No, I'm sorry, it's Legacy Shitbolt. No, sorry, it's Legacy Shitbolt. No, sorry, it's Legacy Silverbolt. I cannot begin to tell you how much I hate this thing. And to be clear, it's not terrible. I think just like other people's reaction to Vector Prime, it's actually a good figure, but I don't know. Looking at this thing fills me with a poisonous bile, acidic enough to burn my own soul. What the fuck did you idiots do? How does this look this wrong? To the untrained eye, I can see how this looks like Silverbolt. To someone to whom Silverbolt is one of their favorite characters, this looks nothing like him. Silverbolt isn't someone I tend to talk about a lot, because he never gets toys, and he was never my favorite from Beast Wars, but he did used to be my second favorite. When I was little, he reminded me a lot of my dog Duke, probably because he was so lawful stupid he'd likely score the same on an IQ test as that German Shepherd, and as an adult, I still love the character, but I just find others in the series had more developed storylines that draw me to them. Doesn't change the fact that I still have a gigantic soft spot for this character, which makes this hurt so damn much. What happened? I thought we were done with the realistic beast mode bullshit. You know, considering the fact that this is a horrible chimera that can't in a million years look realistic, this could have stood proud next to Dragon, Megatron, and Tigerhawk. Instead, it just looks weird. It's ironic that Space Wheeljack could look so chunky and have so perfectly captured the vibe of Wheeljack when this doesn't even remotely feel like Silverbolt. The sculpting is wrong and ugly and muddled, the shoulders are too low, the wings are too low, the wings are too small, and half the feathers on the wings aren't painted. Oh yeah, we needed some black running down his spine and for them to absolutely obliterate the face of the dog mode, rather than to fully paint his most iconic feature. Silverbolt's identity was his wings, and here these anemic pieces of fried chicken hanging off of his back like the vestigial plumage of a flightless bird are just insult upon insult to injury. At bare minimum, these needed to be twice this big and mounted above his shoulder line, which should be at his neckline. But no, instead his shoulders are below his neck and his wings are below those. And we're faced with a second irony, that whereas Scrap Heap was retooled to be different for the sake of being different, and that was great, a huge number of this thing's problems are due to the fact that it was retooled to be different for the sake of being different, and now it's terrible. This is like a case study in how not to do that. Look, I kind of understand. The original toy was basically a perfect version of this dude. It looked exactly like he did in the show, and it transformed exactly like he did in the show. So I can see why the designer thought that he needed to bring something new to the table. But if you were going to do something like that, why would you sculpt the fake hinges into his shoulders? If this is a new thing, make it a new thing. Don't make a bastardized version of the original. Why change the overall sculpting and then just leave in stuff like this? And the way the changes makes this thing look, this is just the Kingdom Rhinox all over again. Not as ugly as that was, and for sure not as incompetently handled in every aspect, but wrong on every front. Like, look at his legs. I'm sure none of you have ever cared to stare at Silverbolt's feet like you were Tarantino or something before, so to help you out, what if I put them side by side with the show? How about I overlay them? They are so wrong, but they don't look more realistic, they just look wrong. I don't know what they were going for. It's not accurate to the character, it's not accurate to real life, it's just sculpted incorrectly, like Rhinox's face was. I am baffled by so many of the decisions this thing made. They weren't in service of making it a better figure, they just seem to be the result of the designer's insanity. Like, look at this. There's a pinned hinge in the chest. That was on the original figure, but that's because that's how the head flipped into the chest. But it doesn't work like that here anymore. Now this comes back and that just folds that way, but there's a pin here. There's a hinge. I can see it, but like it can't... Oh. Why? I actually looked at the directions to figure out why this joint is here, and there's no explanation to be found. It's just there. There is a joint on this figure you have to untransform the whole chest to get at, and it does nothing. It has no function, no use. It's just a waste of budget. I cannot fathom what is going on here. Can someone please explain this to me? Then there's the head sculpt, and the shapes are there, but it's missing something. This is lifeless and emotionless, and it doesn't evoke the character. It's just wrong. There's something incorrect about it. Look, if I step back and I just evaluate this objectively, for you, the common consumer, this probably looks fine. It's awkward, the shoulders are weird, and it clearly wants to look cooler than it does. But if you aren't invested in the character, what do you care that his sculpting is wrong to high heaven? What do you care that his wings aren't big enough? What do you care that his head doesn't feel like the character? It looks vaguely like the dude, so for you, this probably looks like a weird and interesting toy. It will look kind of like it belongs with your Kingdom figures, but even there is a problem. It's too much of a freak to easily settle in with them, but it's just not accurate enough to go with the later figures. It just doesn't have a home. For accessories, he has his wing missiles. These would look decent, but from both the front and the side, they have this awful waffling, and for some reason that's how they attach to the wings, because God forbid it have a regular port. No, they need this waffling so they can be keyed to a particular wing. Again, why? Why not just let me attach these to whatever wing I want? Why lock me out? They're painted well and they do look a bit more wicked than the ones he had in the show, but lose these and his wings will somehow become significantly more pathetic. Truly a feat of engineering that, when they already looked this lame in the first place. And then the poseability is at least really good, I can give it that. It's pretty excellent here. Head has tons of down, a little to the side, and a full spin. Shoulders pull a little more than a 90, and you can untransform it for a ton more, despite how ugly that is. Maximum elbows. Though, that does untransform the arms a bit. Wrist swivel, wings flap, but no rotation. Waist swivel, which interjection from the future I will talk about in a bit. Legs are super unimpeded in all directions. Normal 90 knees. Mafia knees. Is this the first time the Rat Trap Mafia has violated one of their own beast brethren? And feet with a giant toe down and a rocker in both directions. As unhappy as I am with the rest of this figure, I do have to hand it to the poseability. It is masterpiece level. Unfortunately, his wings are his weakest feature, so he is incapable of doing his iconic shooting pose. So great! Yet another important thing that this figure fails at. But then you get to the transformation, and once again, it's different for the sake of being different, and it's massively worse. Basically, he just sticks his shoulders in the air, bends his elbows really hard, and then his backpack does a flip. On the old figure, his crotch became his head, while his arms jumped around behind his back, and his legs flew up to encapsulate his torso. This was fun and unique, while this just feels so much less creative. And of course, a fucking course! Once more, they've added pegs that lock the legs to the torso, just to say that he has extra transformation steps, because otherwise the only point of that would be to remove articulation you should want. Why do they keep doing this? Why is this a thing now? And then I thought I hated the robot mode. Oh my god, what have you idiots done? Do I need to do anything more than to just point at this thing and say, look, its suck speaks for itself? This looks like an out-of-shape wolf killed an undersized eagle and is wearing its headless corpse like a backpack. Nice micro mini-skirt there, dude. I can see your moose knuckle hanging down past it, and I am displeased. Man, I can see you grabbing your own butt cheeks back there, dude, and you better be into yourself, because you are the only one who will ever love your doughy ass. Not even Black Arachnia could feign attraction to you. And are you sure that you're a wolf and not an English bulldog? You got the neck for it, and you're flabby like a turducken and probably fly about as well as one. And what the fuck? Why is his face so soft? Why does he have no teeth? He looks like an old man who forgot his dentures. Why did you shotgun off all of the detail on his face with a double-barrel blast of black? Why is his expression so fucking stupid? He doesn't look like he's barking or growling. He's just going, Why is that as far as your damn mouth can open? I ask, but I know why they did it. The fucking moron who made this worships at the altar of that greatest of Transformer sins. Toy loyalty. The original toy had black on the face of the wolf. Doesn't matter that the character shouldn't melt his face off with black paint. The old toy had hinges on the front of his shoulders. It doesn't matter that we got rid of those hinges. Let's sculpt them on anyways. The old toy had a chest that flips down. It doesn't matter that does literally nothing here. Drive the price up and put the hinge in. There is a reason why I hate toy loyalty so much. 99% of the time, it needlessly compromises a figure to be worse intentionally just to say, hey, it's kind of like an old thing. And no, keeping the original transformation wouldn't be the same thing. That old transformation wasn't broke and didn't need fixing, and it resulted in a better, more fun figure that was more like its show counterpart. This new transformation resulted in a Fusor that looks about as genetically cohesive as the dude from RoboCop who had the toxic waste spilled on him. Why are your wings growing out of the back of your head? Oh my god, guys. I just figured it out. I just figured everything out. Here is the unified theory as to why Silverbolt sucks. He sucks because he has a waist swivel. To get a waist swivel, they had to change the transformation. Because they changed the transformation, the wings now have to be mounted directly to the wolf head. Because they're mounted directly to the wolf head, they can't really be mounted any further forward on the beast mode without it looking absolutely absurd. But that means that when they are already too low on the robot mode, the only way to improve that would be to raise them higher, which they can't do without compromising the wolf even further. And because of the new way that they had to mount the arms, they wound up sticking super far off the back of the wolf mode, and it results in the shoulders getting forced down lower on the body. Everything was ruined to get this one joint, and if there's a joint on a figure that I can live without, it's a waste. And this figure is a waste. For me it is, at least. I loathe this thing like little else. It disgusts me. They got so much wrong, and all of it for stupid as hell reasons. They decided that the thing that I like sucks, so they were going to fix it for me, and in the process they only made it far worse. Look, if I just look at this thing as dispassionately as I can, it is a weird-looking, but at least overall interestingly designed figure, with great posability and solid accessories that needed a lot more paint, but in robot mode, it is good for those of us who don't know the character super well. The transformation is boring and overly simple, but that might make it a great gift for a child. And then the alt mode is definitely ugly, with a botched sculpt and weird proportions. Oh, and his wings fall off way too easily. As a fan of the character, I despise this thing. As a figure, if I'm objective, it's decent, probably better than average, but at the same time, it's weird. It's a weird damn figure. But it's not a micro masterpiece for sure. It's probably great, you'll probably enjoy it, I fucking hate it, and it's weird. At least I can thank this thing for driving me to buy the original again. And before we go, let's thank a patron. If you'd like to get on this wheel, just join my Patreon at any paid tier. They recently added free memberships, and I'm not sure why, but yeah, sorry, for those of you who have joined that way, being a free member doesn't get you in the credits, it doesn't get you in the Discord, and it doesn't get you on the wheel. I am completely befuddled by why Patreon would add a free tier. Kind of against the whole point of the website, isn't it? Anyways, this time it's Lord Skywarp, whose favorite figure is Kingdom Cyclonus. How does it feel to betray everything you stand for? Though I think I know what side of the argument you come down on as to who Cyclonus was reformatted out of. Clearly Bombshell. I mean, what more can I say about Kingdom Cyclonus? It is one of the best figures of the last decade. That face is a little wonky, but outside that, even when compared to third party, it's one of the best looking, most fun versions of the dude, and somehow it winds up with the least gibble, and it's got hands down the easiest and best transformation. Anyways, that's not half what I have to say, but it's enough of what I have to say. And I know, you know, what everyone else tells you to do at the end of these videos. So, if you liked what you saw here, please do that. And if you'd like to take it a step further, then please, share this video with any friend you think may be interested. I hope you all enjoyed listening to me waste your time.